herd, flock, pride. It's an instinct shared by many living things. The knowledge that we're stronger together. Denver Zoo has been working to save wildlife for 128 years, from the Andes to the Rockies. And here at home, conservation must be a collaboration. Like the herds and packs under our care, we must come together to save one another. Denver Zoo Conservation Alliance. Learn more at denverzoo.org.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Pastimes Podcast. Each week we go through an old newspaper from a random date in history picked out by Dave Anthony. I'm Gareth Reynolds, and I've never seen it before, and neither is our guest this week,
Ryan Rogers. Ryan, hello. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party, pal.
Hello, divas. Can I call you divas? How's it going?
Well, Dave's a Deva, and I'm, you can just call me Gary.
Everyone else does.
By. Whether I like it or not. Ryan, we met in New Orleans.
That's correct. How did you like your time in New Orleans?
It was brief. I will say the show was great. The worst part was when I was in the Holiday Inn and someone opened the door to the room that I was in with a key.
Pretty classic.
Yeah. And
yeah, it's a tradition here.
I tried to get my money back, and even though I didn't pay for it, I tried to get like credit, and they were like, how about a soda? And I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's typical. People think New Orleans is like hurricanes and hand grenades and Bourbon Street, but it's really just like hotel room invasions.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
By the way,
I actually have never thought New Orleans was about hand grenades. What's happening right now?
A hand grenade, it's a drink. It's a classic New Orleans frozen drink that'll get you absolutely tanked, and you will forget where you're from. It's amazing.
I actually had one of those once, and I'll never forget the experience because I was legit hammered for like an hour 45. And then I was like, I think I'm sober. I just snapped out of it. Is that part of it? Yeah,
it's probably the grain alcohol that just like probably works through your system. Did you have cocaine? That'll help too. That'll burn it off.
Had a little cocaine. Yeah.
There you go. See?
Yeah. Had a lot of cocaine.
That's the classic cocktail.
Well, Ryan, so you have a special on OnlyFans, correct?
I sure do. It's on LMAOF, weird name. So they could have the OnlyFans at the end, but it's on OnlyFans TV, and I shot it a couple months ago. And OnlyFans is getting into like this new comedy platform and cooking shows and reality TV to diversify its content. So I'm a part of that. Couldn't be happier about it. But we shot it a couple months ago in Austin, Texas.
Laughs and buttholes. That's what I always say.
There you go. That's actually a club in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I love that club.
It's great. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. That is.
And if my jokes aren't funny enough, I'll always show hole. I won't, but.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
There's the comedy
you gotta back
hole.
Up. You got to back up.
Yeah, literally. All right. So you might know this, Ryan. I know you listen to the show from time to time. We are going to guess the date that this paper could be from. Since I'm one of the founders of the show, I go first.
That seems fair.
It's America and all that. I'm going to guess that this paper is from the year.
Wrong.
1900. You baby.
Hey, Ryan, just guess whatever you want. And I'll give you a hint.
You'll give me a hint.
1879.
Was that it? What? I'm going to say 1841. Let's go all the way back.
It's closer. It's 1879.
You just gave it to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gave you a hint.
A lot of bad.
The hint was just it.
You gave him and I'm close. It's bad.
You're not closer. Ryan's closer. Ryan Anthony Rogers.
I'm starting to think this is personal.
Dave's like, let's just end this now, please.
Yeah. That's the energy. That's that's on a loop.
September 17th, 1879.
Okay.
So this is right after 9/11, which was on September 11th.
We all remember. We couldn't forget.
Yeah. The Allentown Democrat, Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh dear. So this is when they started asking for Biden to drop out.
Headline on page 1: horrible if true.
That's how you do a headline, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, it's grabby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Biden.
This is
Trump.
Wow, this is from Lafayette, Indiana. That's where this story's out of. For some time past, the shoes worn by a young medical student of this city have been a source of constant curiosity and no little comment among his friends.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. How about this? I'll start. I don't care for this.
People are into his shoes.
Dave, what's the headline again?
Horrible if true.
Okay, so it's setting up like, this is horrible if it's true. These people have been checking out this dude's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what could it
Why not
possibly
go
be?
with horrible if shoe? It's right there. It's right there. For those of you listening, the two other gentlemen on the show are busting guts.
Mm-mm.
They're having a giggle.
It's horrible and not true.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Burns, in post, really punched the laughter up here and cut out when they both said it wasn't true.
It was certainly something unusual that created this attention, for they were neither particularly large nor particularly small, nor yet were they in either so good or so bad repairs as to excite more than a passing glance. They were simply a pair of ordinarily low shoes, but it was their texture.
Okay, he's wearing normal flats.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is this like the first time someone was like, I don't do boots? And everyone was like, oh. But
He's
it's
just
texture-based.
He's just not wearing heels.
Yeah,
is
right.
what it sounds like.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It was their texture and the strange material of which they were constructed that made them at once curious and remarked. The leather...
It's skin. It's got to be skin, right?
Baby skin.
Yeah, it's baby skin.
The leather is light brown in color and streaked with parallel veinings of a darker shade.
So leather.
The whole soft as milk.
Oh, it's got a hole in it. Okay, that's the difference. So it's got like a little bung.
WHOLE.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Among his best friends, the doctor in embryo makes no secret of the mystery of his footgear. Quote, they are made from the skin of a belle of Cincinnati.
Shut up. Wait, okay. Now, how are you spelling Belle is my question.
Belle.
No.
Yep.
What? He's got lady flesh shoes?
Yeah.
I mean, they do that on Drag Race like once a week, so I don't see the problem here. It's pretty typical.
That's amazing.
It's the flats part.
Week. Yeah.
It's the flats parts that is absolutely killing me. The way it starts, where it's like they're not normally long or short or high, or it's just insane. But they're skin.
Well, he probably was going for a boot and then just ran out of woman. He's like, fuck it, let's make a low top, a shebok.
He gave the name of one of the principal families of that city, and while the hair of his listeners begin to assume a perpendicular position. Okay.
So their hair's standing up from fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes on to tell how during his term at college, he was one night sought out by resurrectionists, famous among the medical men, who offered him a subject just snatched from a city cemetery. Okay.
Oh my God.
He's out at night and he runs into some body snatchers.
By the way, all right, let's be honest. He took the body and he's just putting that part on someone else.
That's correct. They snatched it from a city cemetery, that of a beautiful young girl whose white flesh and costly ring on her smooth, soft hand show her to be of no poor family.
What a weird detail to toss in about your boot lady.
Yeah.
She's white, so we knew that she was rich. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah,
not great.
By the way, she was awesome. Don't think this was just some poor little white woman.
It was bought by several of the students, and how, when the body slashed by the knife of the dissector lay upon the table, he crept in and cut the skin from the round limbs.
Oh my God, he's got arm shoes.
Whoa.
And fat shaming her. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't you catch a break?
Big old legs.
Yeah.
The ghastly bundle, securely wrapped and tied, was packed into an old gripsack and sent with an explanatory letter to a well-known shoemaker of this city.
Like, shoemaker's like, what's, hey, There, I have what I call cobbling lines. And I'm
just I'm obsessed with what was it? Old grip sack.
Grip sack is great. Sounds like a scrotum. Could be a scrotum.
It old
might
grip
be
sack.
a scrotum. Old grip sack.
The skin was then tanned and polished and finally placed into the hands of a skillful workman, and under his manipulations transformed into a pair of low summer shoes.
Okay, they're seasonal. Cool.
Yeah, don't make a faux pas. This his pronouncement of this happening, like, it's actually made from a woman's skin. It's like when Kristi Noem was like, I shot my dog. Can I be vice president? Like, everyone's like, you're oversharing and you're done.
Yeah. It's really okay. The remainder of the tan skin now lies in the shop, and it is said may readily be produced to verify his story. The body of the poor girl, hacked and mutilated, found a nameless grave, while the mound reared to her memory in the cemetery of the city is draped with flowers and vines and planted by loving hands above an empty coffin.
This...
God, it got real sad.
Yeah. This is... I mean, horrible if true is a grabber, but it's an understatement.
Yeah.
I mean, this should be like man brags about female shoe.
This is
shoe made from woman.
This is Ed Gein shit. And
this truly is. Yeah.
It's proto Buffalo Bill. Also, like a great title for this would be Fashion Police. Would be awesome.
Calling fashion. That would be the best if some guy in there was just like, I think we better call the police. The Fashion Police.
Yeah, 100%.
He can literally get arrested for
we're moving on, right?
The shoes,
I never want to.
I don't. Yeah. I just don't think it's fair to be like, we've accepted this reality, but keep going.
What if this whole paper was about skin fashion?
We're out of stories. Our second edition.
The shoes fashioned from her flesh tread our streets every day. Their story, in all its hideous grotesqueness, is vouched for as strictly and absolutely true, and certainly furnishes no mean leaf in the history of the dissecting room.
Man.
Oh, fuck. Well,
so she lives on. So it is a story of hope.
It's true. It's legacy. It's and I do mean leg. Oh, wow. That is some dark shit.
That is dark. It is dark shit.
God.
The smallest bank robber in the world.
Oh my God.
Do we think it's a dog or a bird?
Oh,
right.
God.
Or a bird is what I'm thinking.
Gotta be. It's gotta be.
Gotta be a bird. A little finch.
That's a great headline, because I am like picturing a little man who's like, down here.
Yeah.
Put it in my grip sack.
It seems that the mystery surrounding a robbery committed in the First National Bank of this city many months ago was cast aside Tuesday morning. A long time ago, Mr. Farnsworth, cashier of the bank, missed $1, $2, and $5 bills frequently out of a small pasteboard box he kept standing on the counter. Well, why would you? I guess
we've also really just outgrown what they put things in.
I know they put.
Never heard of that one. Grip sack's a newbie.
So he was just leaving currency on the counter.
It's in
and it just kept disappearing.
Mm-hmm. I think I think a pasteboard box is probably like a cardboard box, right?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
I get maybe they didn't have. Well, they probably didn't have a drawer situation.
Right.
But the counter is still a great place for that.
Yeah.
That's where you keep it.
Insane.
On the counter. In all, there was $15 or $20 taken, and then Mr. Farnsworth removed the temptation of the mysterious bank robber by doing away with the change box. So he got rid of his box.
Right.
Tuesday morning, workmen were engaged in tearing down the old vault in the building formerly occupied by First National, situated on the corner of Broadway and Main Street. And in a hole in the inside of the vault, just above the door, they found a dead mouse lying on top of a large-sized nest. On making an examination of the nest, it was found to be wholly constructed of small pieces of $1, $2, and $5 bills.
Ryan, I mean, you feel good? That's pretty much where you were at.
I think we nailed it.
Well, I didn't.
I think we fully Knives Out this like immediately.
Yeah, but no, you did. I was the guy who's like, it was the teller.
It's a little. You're like, it's a little person who's like, stick him up.
Yeah.
Was the circus in town?
Get ready, everyone. We got a tiny little man.
I like that the mouse is the smoking gun. Where at this point in the story, if you haven't figured it out yet, you're like, what could it be at this point?
Yeah, there's some readers who are like, all right, who's the guy? Get to it.
The pile was sufficiently large as to cause the officers of the bank to believe that the entire $15 or $20 stolen were in the mouse's nest, and the remains of the defaulting bank mouse with its nest is on exhibition in Mr. Farnsworth's office in the Plumber Block. There you go.
So it really was a mouse.
Yeah, it really was a mouse.
Literal mouse. It's actually a fairly nice ending for these times, because I would just imagine they would just like stomp it with a shovel or something normally. So,
And the mouse is dead when they found it.
Yeah,
oh, is it?
Yeah,
I thought he was like keeping it in a little enclosure.
Mouse
Okay.
skeleton.
Well, that's what greed will do to you.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Money corrupts, even
That's
for
true.
rodents. That's crazy.
For rodents,
That's how
yeah.
Bezos is going to go.
This feels like a fable.
Yeah, it does.
The mouse died laughing on his pile of money.
It would be great if when they went in there, the mouse was still alive and he was like, you've detonated a bomb that goes off if I don't get 100,000 more dollars.
I would love it if the mouse was just, he'd already like spent the money on extravagant things like skin shoes. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. He had a pair of boots on.
He's just got a lady lamp. Yeah.
Red bottom skin shoes.
Yeah.
He's like, we're taking it
Yeah.
next level.
Clergyman's Fall.
Okay.
Marty.
The inhabitants of Brookville, Pennsylvania and vicinity have been terribly scandalized because of the conduct of Reverend S.S. Miller, pastor of the Lutheran congregation of that place. He was charged with conduct unbecoming a minister.
What?
I mean, that's bad back then. Like, you got to really, like, because they keep fucking people. I mean, they still are, but they were full fucking until like 10 years ago. They were still full on fucking.
Okay.
And I'm talking to everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
All ages.
Yes, we
2
understand.
on up.
Yeah, there's no little height restriction.
I'm calling all the pastors and the
I
ministers.
think we're
and
good.
child
It's
fuckers is what I'm saying.
super clear.
Right now.
Super
They
clear.
Fuck,
Super
they fuck
clear.
kids.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
98%.
Not all of them.
Not all priests. Is that what you're saying?
Not all priests.
It's not great. It's not the right side of history you want to be on.
I won't do APAB.
I'm dying.
Okay, the principal accuser was a member of the church who had been living in his family as a domestic who charged him with making dishonorable proposals to her.
Oh, wow.
Her?
Yeah.
I like
That's shocking.
Yeah.
That is truly shocking.
It really
to
is.
cover his tracks.
Yeah, I'm in love with this lady over here. We don't believe you.
What?
Yeah.
It's true.
Come on.
Come on.
The charge
Terrible
was
if
carried,
true.
Yeah. The other priests were like, dude, stop. What are you doing? We got a rep.
The charge was carried to the synod in a conference of ministers convened in the church. And Mr. Miller's case was taken up. The conference was held with closed doors, 2 entire days being spent in the hearing of the testimony.
Wow.
Okay, so can you go over everything you said again about your panties?
Yes. I've been pining for a woman, and she... What?
Could you just go over once again the details about the panties?
Her I'm not sure. I have not... I'm trying to...
You saw them, right? You saw them
Okay.
in her room,
I didn't...
correct?
I mean, I suppose when I went in there, I saw some undergarments, yes.
Mm-hmm. What color were they? Were they silky?
They were white, but I really would rather tell you the story because I'm in quite a religious conundrum.
We really need to narrow down this. Were they used?
They were on the floor, so I would...
They were dirty panties?
I'm not here to... I'm not actually not going to engage
Well,
in...
I think you have to because you're This is what we're here
Well, they
for,
were on the
so
floor, so I would assume she'd use them.
They were dirty.
I would
How,
assume
how
that they-
dirty? How dirty do you think your panties
That's a
were?
crazy follow-up to something when I was
We're
just
just
telling
trying
you
to
that
get
I'm
to the
probably not
bottom.
going to
We're trying
answer
to get
this
to
to
the
say
bottom
how
of
dirty
this.
were they.
We're just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Well, the panties were at her bottom. And I'm not going to keep engaging in whether or not they were filthy or not.
Mhm.
Why? You want them to be soiled? Is that what you're
No,
after?
We're just trying to get to the honest truth.
I would guess she'd worn them once.
Did you touch them?
I did not, and I won't answer any more questions about the panties. I want to tell you why this is a tough situation for me.
Okay.
Because I recognize the church's stance on having a feelings like this.
Were they still warm?
All right, you know what? Yeah,
They were still warm, so you did touch them.
yeah, it was like a calzone. Okay.
We're
So
gonna. We
the,
gotta.
the misconduct in question is his interest in a lady.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's what the paper was willing to report.
Yes.
So it means it's so much worse.
Um,
The lady was 9.
So the conference was held behind closed doors, 2 days. The result was that Reverend S.S. Miller was found guilty of the charges preferred and is therefore suspended from the ministry, awaiting the approval of the General Synod upon the action of the conference. The affair has created a great deal of comment, and great sorrow is felt for the church and for Mr. Miller's wife and 2 children.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
okay. So that's different. So he was just having an extramarital affair.
Yeah,
Right.
he was fucking around. Yeah. Yeah. Well, not even. He was trying to. It sounds like he was just
Yeah,
trying
right.
to.
Right. Yeah.
It sounded like it was for being straight. I was with you, Gareth, where it's like, we have a reputation to uphold. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to have to fuck 2 boys, and then maybe we can get this thing back on track. Do you understand?
Yeah, so he tried to fuck. They hired a maid.
You're
He
on
tried to fuck her.
probation.
Well, this is a good follow-up. Teaching birds to sing.
That's absolute, like, teaching dolphins to swim.
In Fulda, Germany, regular institutions are established to teach bullfinches to sing.
Beautiful.
So German.
The young birds are placed into classes of 6 to 10 each and kept in the dark. Okay, what's
It's
going on right
it's
now?
torture.
What's
It's
happening?
torture. Now, when you are ready to sing, you can come out of your dark boxes, birds.
As they
This
are
is
fed,
actually how Charlie XCX makes music. This is it.
as they are fed, a little hand organ is played.
This is adorable.
It's so German.
People had nothing to do.
In the
Nothing.
dark. In the dark.
Yeah.
They had
It's-
absolutely nothing to do.
It's I would argue this is torture.
I mean, yeah, it would be torture if it was
Take
just
me out
listening.
to the ball game, taking me out into crowd.
Finally, the birds commence to associate the music with feeding, and when hungry, they commence to sing a few notes to the tune they hear daily.
All right,
So
now I
they're
don't
being-
hate it.
This is
They're-
fucked up.
They're
Now I
being-
don't hate it.
It's just
They're being-
conditioning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's conditioning. They're mimicking the tune because they know food is associated with it.
I mean, I have a much similar thing going on with Luke over here.
Oh, I know you do. Those who do this are at once placed in a more cheerful room where light is admitted. Oh, so if you sing, you get light.
The Germans would go on to do this for a while.
I
Yes.
know. I'm like, these are these are the seeds. Where they're like, interesting. So you do the bidding for ham.
Why don't we do this with the people? This encourages and makes them more lively. Then they like to sing and are taught more. Oh, so you put them in light and give them food, they sing more? They're
I don't think
happy?
you're allowed to
So
say
they're
what the
happy.
birds like. They're operating from they're like just like fear based now. They're like, huh?
The most difficult part is the starting of the birds, some of which have to be kept a long time in the dark and on starvation rations before their obstinacy is overcome.
Total torture. Total torture.
Obstinacy.
It's total torture for bullfinches. I mean, even a bullfinch has to be quite small.
That is
Oh, good for you. Light is for the closer. Come in here, VIPs.
Wow.
That is so wild.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Just bird torture.
Yes. Like we're saying, I mean, this is definitely, there's like, the government was like, pretty interesting. Something to think about for a while and see where we noodle it to.
It doesn't even feel like base level science. It's like we played music in the dark and they sang, and then we brought them outside and they sang again. And I'm like, whoa.
No, they did.
Anything that wasn't pitch black, I think they were responding positively to, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The singing was just like, oh my God, I'm free.
Yeah. Seed, sweet seed.
I'm out of the crazy jail.
Yeah.
Oh, he's singing so nicely.
How was work today, honey?
This story is actually the inspiration for Tar, the movie Tar. This is it.
Jesus.
About a conductor. This is great.
Holy fuck, that movie is crazy.
The virtues of the lemon.
Finally.
An eminent physician says lemon juice is the best anti-scorbutic? I don't know. Remedy known. It not only cures the disease, but prevents it. Sailors make a daily use of it for this purpose. Well, yeah, to prevent scurvy.
Scurvy.
Yeah.
So this is when they're finally like, hey, good news.
This is actually the best news.
It had to be huge.
Helpful information the first time in this paper. This is amazing.
The first time a guy discovered that, it must burn a little bit, but the first time a guy's like, oh, I spilled lemon in my wound. Someone was like, you idiot. And then he's like, oh, tell you what, a little life's coming back to the old leg.
I advise everyone to rub their gums with lemon juice to keep them in health. Okay. That got a little weird.
It's just the tooth situation, the gums back then.
Yeah.
Like when they're just like, a little lemon make your mouth feel a little alive again. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, the breath. But people just going like, yeah, you put a little lemon in there and make a fucking mouth back.
Yeah, that's the classic Lafayette, Indiana accent. Is that right there?
He nailed it.
For sure.
He nailed it.
Listen, I've traveled.
The hands and nails are also kept clean, white, soft, and supple by the daily use of lemon instead of soap.
So people just lemoning up. They're just like they're marinating.
Yeah, just put a lemon all over yourself, you stupid bitch.
Put a lemon on it. Put your lemon on it.
It also prevents...
That's the doctor. Okay, yeah.
It also prevents chilblains.
Oh, chilblains.
Do you know what chilblains are?
Yeah.
What are chilblains?
Gareth,
it's
what
like,
are you telling?
It's where it's like relaxing with the home. No, it's it's like a circulatory issue, I think. So it's like blood doesn't get to like fingers or toes or certain appendages, and then they start to kind of deaden, and there's nerve damage and all that shit.
Gay people, we don't have that. I don't know what you're talking about. That's insane.
Well, we're going to get it to you as soon as humanly possible, okay? We're coming for you.
Chilblains are itchy, swollen, and painful lumps or patches on your skin.
Never mind.
After exposure to cold, but not freezing temperatures.
Yeah, the cure for chilblains is like heat, basically. And lemon.
And lemon. Rub some lemon on it. Lemon is used in intermittent fevers mixed with strong, hot black coffee without sugar. Neuralgia. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it. Neuralgia may be cured by rubbing the part affected with a cut lemon. It is also valuable to cure warts and to destroy dandruff on the head by rubbing the roots of the hair with it.
Boy.
In fact,
so it's everything.
It's everything.
Truly, the limitless power of lemons.
Put it in your eyes.
I mean, it's just walking around and seeing people like, we're going out tonight.
In fact, its use are manifold, and the more we employ it externally, the better we shall find ourselves. National remedies are the best, and nature's our best doctor if we would only listen to it. Decidedly, rub your hands, head, and gums with lemon and drink lemonade.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so it's an ad.
It's not an ad. It's just...
It's a scientific breakthrough.
I mean, usually there'd be like a... Here,
so come and use Dr. Robert's lemons.
Yeah, or send me $1 and all, but there's no there's no advertisement attached to this. There's no.
Part of me feels
product.
like Big Lemon is behind this, and there was too many. There was a bigger lemon shipment than they expected, and they were like, lemons. What lemon's good for? Literally everything.
Everything. Rub it on your hair, your gums, your dick, your balls, your bung, your feet. Lemons. Get your lemon.
An interesting medical treatment. Miss Lucy Webster, wife of Nathaniel Webster of Gloucester, who has been very ill for the last 3 years with consumption of the blood being so low that hopes of her recovery have been given up, has been benefited by the experiment of transfusing blood into her veins.
Boy, they're having a lot's going on right now.
Yeah.
We can lemon our bodies up, and then internally we're doing blood swaps.
Yeah. Some 4 weeks since a Boston physician was called and the operation of transferring 1/4 pound of blood. They don't use that.
They're not using that measurement anymore.
Let
me get a 1/4 pound of blood, supersize.
From a healthy lady into the arms of Miss Webster was successfully performed, and she received decided benefit therefrom.
This is crazy that it's the 4th story. Like the thing that led was skin shoes, and then rat fucking bank thief, and then lemons are good, and then it's like no blood transfusions work. That's like
the one that can definitely get dropped from is the fact that a mouse took $5 bills from a bank.
It wasn't even that much money.
No, it was $20.
It's barely a story. They were like, and the culprit was a mouse. Also, blood can save you.
I just like reframing it that way. That was so funny too, where it's like a bank had a rodent problem. That's the problem.
Not even a problem. A mouse. One mouse.
A mouse
took $5
from someone who was negligent.
And now they're just like, oh, also we've cured scurvy and blood issues.
In one day.
On Tuesday morning, a similar operation was performed, and 1 pound of blood was successfully transferred, and marked improvement is the result. It is hoped that a cure may be effected, and the case is watched with intense interest.
It had to be so fucking amazing to be in the room where some guy was just like, I mean, what if we gave her like someone else's blood? And they were all like,
right.
What
What
the
are you
fuck are you
talking
talking about? I don't know. Maybe we just...
It's the same guy who was like, maybe we should wash our hands. And they're like, no, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
Todd, you take a minute. Stop pitching for a little while. You're getting crazy. What if we put lemons in our hair and then I gave you some of my blood? You high.
1 pound. 1 pound. What the fuck?
It's amazing. What a time. What a beautiful time. Dave's Googling something.
I was, but I fucked up. Although the president and members of the cabinet are just now engaged in attending cattle and pumpkin shows.
The
in
best.
various,
what a combo.
I love a
cattle and pumpkin show.
I love the two.
In various sections of the country, it is a comfort to know that Private Secretary Rogers still remains at his post of duty as acting president of the United States with full control over the government conservatories.
This just sounds like they're tattling.
Yeah,
right?
This is very
like
considerate.
He's going to pumpkin and cattle shows, but he's still doing his job.
Yeah, but
no,
don't worry.
Well, he's not going to pump. He's the one staying behind and not pumpkining and cattle.
Oh, he's missing out on all the fun.
He is missing out on all the fun, but it also sounds like they're talking shit about him a little bit because they say,
man, you know what it's like when your buddies are going to a cattle and pumpkin show and you got to stay home and work.
No, pumpkin FOMO left and right.
Yeah, no, it's POMO.
What?
Pumpkin of missing out? It doesn't work. Sometimes those will hit.
He is the private secretary to Rutherford B. Hayes. That's who he is.
Oh, okay.
So he's the private secretary of the president.
And he's staying home during cattle and pumpkin shows.
And this was news after blood transfusions were invented. That's cool.
That's correct. Yep. Cool. Right after we figured out that blood could be transfused into sick people and help them. We've also got a guy who's missing out on a little bit of fun on the farm.
Sweet pumpkin action.
Yeah.
This is very considerate of Secretary Rogers. If he should happen to go away for a day or so, the whole machine might go to smash. Hold on to the rudder, Rogers, and keep the ship out of the breakers.
Keep the shit out of the breakers, Rogers.
That guy was my great-great-great-grandfather.
I was going
by
to
the
say,
way.
is there any...
And we haven't been looking at pumpkins or cattle ever since.
Oh,
we do our job.
You people. That's so sad.
So diligent. The story is he's diligent and we like him.
Yep. The story is that he's working.
Yeah.
Which I guess would be nice to read now.
For real, though. Elected official working.
Elected official missing out, swamped, not trying to. Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene when she spoke, how she kept going,
No, really?
at the convention? Yeah, she someone was like, you come off horrible. And so she had smiling lessons or something.
Oh, she's doing the Kamala thing where Kamala just laughs and smiles all the time.
Yes, it's in that realm, but instead it was just like she has this fake ass smile on, but she kept going like it was like she was making
act
weird
natural.
like she was like human.
Yeah, it's like a demon trying to laugh and smile.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah.
So unsettling.
Should rub a little lemon on that mouth.
I didn't watch. The only thing at the convention I watched was Trump walking out with the bandage. That was all I needed.
I watched a couple things. Just it's more exciting to watch the reaction of the people on cable news who are like, I mean, they're basically just like, how the fuck can we not beat this guy?
Except for Vance Jones, who's like, boy, that every Republican, well, that person has a big future, huh? That person's great.
Yeah,
what a speaker.
Yeah.
My favorite was all the audience shots of the people wearing the ear bandages. And I thought that was fucking crazy until I got on Instagram and saw a comedian that I worked with in Houston who was selling them.
Oh my God.
As merch. And I'm like, first of all, fucking insane. Second of all, that's a bandage.
I also kudos. That's a pretty good. I mean, if someone would pay for that, that is all.
And they
upside.
are.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I wonder what his bid is about it. It must be great.
Yeah, that is hilarious. Thoughtful. Wordplay.
I mean, it's like one joke, and then he's like, I'm selling ear bandages after. People like, that's pretty good.
The state fair opened at Philadelphia on Monday of last week.
I know one secretary that won't be making it. Rogers.
Because he's working.
He's got to work. He's got to steer the ship.
You know how I know that joke hit? I thought the Zoom froze. Because you both were just like...
We were waiting for more.
Yep. Well, that's what they say you're supposed to do in comedy, boys.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing is they weren't laughing because they were listening.
That's the or have you ever heard that one where they're like, everyone was really smiling though?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're like, oh good, yeah, that'll get me back here.
The state fair opened at Philadelphia on Monday of last week under peculiarly favorable auspices. There was an abundance of fine cattle, sheep, that are described as walking clouds of wool, burly porkers, sleek and sumptuous, some of the finest horses in the country.
Written by a Scottish guy.
Plenty of colossal squashes, miraculous turnips, marvelous cabbages, luscious peaches, and delicious grapes.
That could also be from Trump's teleprompter a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Sheeps that look like big, beautiful clouds and just luscious, some of the most luscious squashes you've ever seen. And just,
I kind of want to read the thing that he said that someone posted today.
Finish this and then do it in between.
That's it. The exhibition of livestock is said
I thought
to be
this was the same tweet. Delicious grapes.
Delicious grapes. Luscious lambs.
Okay, ready?
Some of the most beautiful pumpkins. Yeah. By the way, I watched a little of that, and it was you were just watching it, just like, I mean, this can't help him. Like, this is insane.
No,
and long.
He doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense.
No, he makes no sense. He's just a madman ranting. And this great iron dome will be built entirely in the USA. We're going to build it in the USA and Wisconsin, just like I gave you that massive ship contract. And you're and you're doing a nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And
that was to Scott Walker, by the way. And Scott Walker looks like Mickey Mouse, and he was like,
and he's not the governor.
No.
And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change, and we gave them a tremendous for essentially what we use to call destroyers. These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose. And the people at Shipyard says, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. And we had the most beautiful ships, right, Governor? And everybody's sitting over there, and it was a big contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're going to have a lot of that built right here in the state of Wisconsin and all other states. Israel has an iron.
And all other states. It's just pick your targets.
Israel
no way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Israel has an Iron Dome. They have a missile defense system. 342 missiles were shot into Israel, and only one got through a little bit. It was badly wounded. It fell to the ground, but most of them are.
Poor thing.
Badly
Poor
wounded.
thing.
I had to call the missiles family and let them know.
And Ronald Reagan wanted this many years ago, but we really didn't have the technology many years ago. Remember, they called it Starship, Spaceship, anything to mock him. But he was a very good president, very, very good.
I did watch that part, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But when the camera panned to Scott Walker, he was like, yeah, for sure. It was like, he's awful and not the governor.
I mean, so much of that doesn't make sense. It's just amazing.
We're going to build it in Wisconsin, only in Wisconsin, and everywhere else, every other battleground state. We're going to build it in all the battleground states.
Was Scott Walker ever the governor of Wisconsin? He
Yeah,
wasn't
oh,
one.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what he's saying. He's calling
Yeah,
him
yeah,
governor
yeah.
because he used to be the okay.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's like he like, it was the nod of like, you're going to help me do it, right, guy who used to be the governor? The guy who oversaw Foxconn?
There is no difference between the man who enters your premises at midnight and robs you of your money and the man who makes a newspaper for a year or two and then removes it to another locality without paying up arrearages or even informing the editor of his whereabouts.
Right.
If there is any difference, the latter is the greatest scoundrel of the two.
Oh my God.
Fuck you, Tommy!
Is this still the Trump rant or what is this? It felt like the same. It went straight from delicious, luscious sheep to the Trump fucking Wisconsin thing to this. And I was like, this could all be the same.
There's no difference between the guy who enters your premises at midnight and he's taking your things and the guy who moves his newspaper after you've gotten used to his columns and he's made you like his columns and then he yanks it off you. If anything, the worst could be the latter. The latter could be considered the worst. And we're going to make that paper right here. We're going to make that paper right here in the bathroom where I'm taking a shit right now. And all the other bathrooms, it'll be for all the bathrooms. Someone tried to take a shit in Israel and it wasn't even a turd. By the way, they should make AirPods that are the Trump bandage.
Don't give them that idea. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Don't.
They're going to do it. This is insane. This is just the
Nuts.
rude, like, calling out being a bitch section.
Well,
it's
definitely, it's in a paper, so it's definitely like we're saying, it's definitely.
This guy fucked his wife.
It's
this
targeted.
is what happened.
It's targeted. Yes.
Could you imagine, like, if Trump loses just the video of everyone taking off their little ear thing at the party?
It has to happen for so many reasons, but comedically it has to happen.
Comedically it has to happen.
It has to happen.
It's the funniest
thing. It's an appeal to all people who like comedy that after all this he loses. It will be the funniest thing that will ever happen with Donald Trump.
That's right.
I mean, his head will pop. And not from a sniper.
Larceny extraordinary. One night last week, some rascally cuss entered a potato patch of Mr. Frank Coons near West Coastville.
This is great already.
And-
Rascalicus.
And carried away a large pot of potatoes that had been dug up the day previous and left on a heap in the field for drying out.
Okay.
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 This is what my mother does regularly, by the way.
But do you leave them in the garden to dry out? Don't you
No,
take
that's
them?
the weird part. You take them home.
Right.
I one day I went gleaning, quote unquote, with her, and it was like 30 pounds of potatoes. I was like, by the time I got back, I was like, my back is really bad.
Does she have a garden, or are you guys going out in the wilderness and wild potato
No, you go
hunting?
Foraging.
Yeah, I have
You're
a
foraging.
video of doing it on my YouTube.
You're foraging
but
in the wild for potatoes.
well, on a farm.
Oh,
Whose farm?
you pay to go out and potato it.
No, you ain't paying.
So you're poaching.
That's right. Her and her sister go to this field,
and they poach potatoes.
and I had never done this before, but you were pulling. My mother is 76 years old. She was probably 74 or so at the time. Pulling these roots out, and like 6 or 7 potatoes are uprooted, and then you're just tossing them in a bag on this farm where they've already kind of farmed it. So that's where she's going, you're allowed to.
Well,
and I'm like, then why are we rushing? And there's like an air that you're
Why is the
not
car
allowed.
running?
Yeah, why is the car running? Why did you just tell me to shut the fuck up?
Why am I dressed like a bush then?
Why am I in the bush outfit? Why did you say wear combat fatigues? It's fine.
Well, I think if they have already
And then when we
harvested
got
it,
to the
then it's
road, she
fine.
goes, shut the fuck up, 5-0, be chill. If anyone asks, you're a farmer. What? Shut up.
Okay. It is a great pity indeed that the Murphys taken had not previously been liberally dosed with Paris green. Paris green is capitalized. So some sort of poison or something?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
But why
I'll
would you
level up.
dose potatoes? Okay. Never mind.
Because
You gotta
of
get
my
this
mother.
fucked up. Yeah,
To
this
kill-
is
to
exactly
kill.
why.
To kill Irishmen. I mean,
Oh
obviously.
yeah, it is a like a I don't fuck it. I think this is just saying it's a Paris green is used as an insecticide.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mr. Coons is but too thankful that the thief was generous enough to pick out all the big ones and leave the small ones behind. Which is what they did. I bet the potatoes you pulled out were small, right?
Some
your
were
little-
pretty big boys. I'm going to point out very quickly that first developed in 1814, Paris green was a green-colored inorganic compound composed of copper, acetate, all right, and arsenic trioxide.
Jesus Christ.
So there you go.
Killing
Sounds like
both-
McDonald's fries.
Yeah, killing both the bugs and the humans.
Yeah, I don't feel right. Put a little lemon in your belly.
I love that potato heisting is a part of your family history, Gareth. That's so funny. You're like, I
Shocking.
relate to this story in so many ways.
Well, and asparagus too, and those are the big players. And my mother was like, "When you have this asparagus," and I'm just talking shit, and then I go there, I'm like, "This is the best asparagus I've had in my life."
Well,
And the potatoes were unbelievable.
I never had fresh potatoes like from a garden, but we had a ranch when I was growing up, and they had previously years before someone had planted asparagus, but now it grew wild all over near the canal.
Oh, it's
so
the best.
oh my God, so fucking good.
Asparagus. One time I was eating so much asparagus that my every night my piss stopped smelling. Is that okay? Ryan, you're a doctor.
It's okay to not.
No,
Some
that
stuff-
checks out for sure.
Okay.
I would just say some stuff we probably don't say out loud.
As I finished that, I thought maybe this is one of those inside thinking things.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel like we needed to know it.
Maybe we put a little lemon on the podcast.
A house on wheels.
Innovation. Let's go.
This could go so many ways.
I can't wait.
Mr. Harrison Moore of Lower Makungi recently bought from his
I love
father
Makungi.
a frame summer house standing about a half mile from his own property, and to transport which to where he wanted on his own grounds without taking it apart required considerable planning. So he wants to move the house without
Yeah.
deconstructing it.
Yeah.
The correct idea was, however, soon struck and successfully carried out.
The correct idea.
2 hickory trees of suitable size were cut down and transformed into sort of a sled. And the house rolled aboard.
It's called house skiing.
And then the whole thing moved with 4 horses to Mr. Moore's premises.
Yeah, it's not wheels.
Nope.
It's a sled.
Yep. House
So
sled.
it's
House sled. Very cool.
house sled is much better than house on wheels.
I don't hate it.
I thought the story was going to be this was how we invented trailers.
That's what I thought
Yeah.
too. It was
And I'm
gonna be
like,
like
that's-
mobile home living. Yeah.
This is so much better.
Yeah. He must not have been moving it very far, though. Also, the risk in that time. I mean,
Half a mile.
that's a distance.
Well, yeah, for that time with a sled, let's just say it's not.
Well, I
easy.
always think that when it's like, you're driving across the country and you see like those houses where they're, people are trying to transport their entire house and it's like 4 trailers. And you're just like,
Yeah.
this is.
Every time I see that, I'm like, I don't think this is worth it, no matter how much you like this.
Yeah.
That's what I always think. I'm like, well, I guess the idea that that's an actual option is so fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Just be like, well, you can take your house. It's like, I hadn't thought of that, to be honest with you. That's really? Yeah. We'll just pick it up, move it for you.
Though a seemingly huge undertaking, it was accomplished without any great difficulties and without the least injury to the building. So
Wow.
they did it.
Crazy.
They pulled it off.
Did they say why they needed to move the house?
I think he just wanted to be closer to his dad's house, is what it sounds like.
Half mile. I mean, a half mile in the 1800s feels like a step. So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be closer to my dad's house. I can't imagine this. This is insane.
Well, Dave would do that. Dave would do
Well, yeah. Large sweet potato from Ohio.
It's a very potato heavy paper.
that. I gotta
Yeah.
tell Pam about this one.
Dr. David Beadler accompanied the recent excursion from this city to Ohio, principally to pay a visit to his son, Milton, who resides on a farm near West Lodi, some miles distant from Tiffin, and whom he found to be very prosperously situated. He had very fine crops of all kinds during the season, and for which he is realizing very fair prices. Among other things, he, in the spring, put a patch of ground in sweet potatoes, and with very good results.
Mm.
The crop proving very large, also fine in quality, the soil seemingly being very well adapted to the growth of root crops.
Just
This guy wants to
gardener
fuck the
porn?
soil. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
The parent returned home to this place last week and brought along a lot of the sweets, a couple of them of which was placed by him on our table, and than which we have never seen any finer.
Jesus.
What is going on?
This is
All right,
definitely-
he gave us a potato. Write a story.
I can't help but think that 90% of the things we're talking about now sound like the Trump speech. They put it on the table.
It measured 10.5 inches in length by 5.5 in
stop.
circumference.
Hot.
15 hard.
Holy, my God, look at this.
Oh my God, not 15 hard.
Put your tongue on it. See what it does.
Uncut. Terrible. God.
It weighed 1 ounce less than a pound, just the right size for roasting. While we have seen larger ones, we never
Crazy.
tasted any of better
Stop.
quality.
Stop.
We're glad to know that Mr. B Jr. is so well situated and that the season has favored him so well.
Jesus.
It sounds like he's blackmailing the reporter for something.
Wow.
That was so
It's insane.
weird.
So hot.
I know, far more erotic than it ever needed to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Even truly, yeah. Just full on pornography for potatoes. I should call Pam and let her know about that. Mom, they found the winner.
The potato fits in your ass so sweetly. And
I
it
ate
stays
it, but not with
there.
my mouth.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Chime of the bells. We learned that the steeple with which the German Catholic Church in North 4th Street is now being topped is as soon as completed to be furnished with a chime of 9 bells. So they're putting a top on a church. They're topping a church.
Oh.
So we're back to this story again.
Several members have been subscribed large sums, and there seems to be no doubt that the full amount required will be speedily raised. This will be a novel and beautiful improvement to our town and will be hailed with delight by most, if not all, citizens.
Mm-hmm.
It will
Most, if not all.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's also
So-
weird. Yeah.
Most people are going to love this, if not everyone.
Look,
what the fuck?
yeah. Worst case, it's most, which is pretty good.
It will afford a grand free concert hall and will indeed be music for the million. The music
Quite
of a
promising.
chime of bells always has a solemnly grand effect upon the mind, particularly when their sweet, clear tones break the stillness of a Sabbath morning with a melody of devotion. Like the effect produced by the grand old cathedrals of Middle Ages, it awakes indescribable emotions and shuts out for a while the grosser and more worldly thoughts of our natures.
Okay, this is like a real weirdo who's like, how great is it when chimes shut the spirits in your brain up for a little while? Huh? Those demons telling you to go over there and just hatchet a lady's head off or something. A little chime will take that right out of you. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
It also sounded like the Chat GPT version of this story, where it's like, hey, I actually need 600 words on "we got bells at this church."
That's so
and so just
true.
filling in more
It's
information
so
about
true.
how bells work and how they might feel. It's fucking crazy.
Bells are known to quiet your thoughts, too. On a solemn day. Wow.
It does sound like
So
it doesn't
true.
know what the next word's going to be.
Yeah, right,
Every word is like,
Yeah, just vamping.
yeah.
Bell vamps.
Although this prospective acquisition to our town may not add to our material prosperity, it will be another evidence of the growing taste and refinement of this community, and will be among the things that serve to ennoble and not degrade our lives.
Jesus Christ.
These bells are going to make us classy as fuck, guys.
I mean, there's a lot of weight on these bells. These bells are going to fix everything.
We're not going to be dirty shit people anymore. We hope soon to be able to chronicle the successful accomplishment of the enterprise.
So we're talking about a post-Bell era where they're like, and get ready. Definitely some like snake oil salesman came to town and was just like, y'all heard of bells? Well, I'll tell you what, I was just up the road in another town and the bells have turned that city right around.
Old
That
Mr.
is so
Wilkins
fucking
stopped
funny to
fucking
me.
his dog.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they start using those bells, I stop banging my dog. You'll stop banging your dogs too.
Oh, I doubt that.
The bell's kind of like an iron dome on top of the church.
Summer house burned.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
On Sunday week, the summer house of the farm of Mr. Milton Schaefer near Bragginsville, in the occupancy of Mr. Hilbert, was totally destroyed by fire.
Okay.
So he was renting it out. You could have just
Sure.
said, yeah. Only the greatest efforts of the neighbors, who speedily gathered, were the flames prevented from communicating with the main dwelling and barn. The conflagration was caused by one Mr. Hilbert's children throwing fire on the roof of the building.
Here we go.
Is that bad? Should you not do that?
Throwing fire on the roof.
I mean, does a quick question for those of you who are into arson. Does fire start fire ever? Can fire start a fire?
Holy shit.
Kids were just how do you throw fire?
Well,
That's
you
where I'm
probably,
stuck.
I mean, you probably light like a torch or something.
I
Or
guess, but
maybe they're just lighting
then
hay.
you say
and-
they threw a flaming torch. They were throwing fire.
Well,
children, not one
Children were
badass
throwing
little kid.
fire.
Again,
No, a
I've said
bunch
this
of
like
kids.
10 times. The child has powers and you need to stop him.
Come on, we got a summer house. That'll get it out of him. Once the bells come, he'll become less demonic. Once we get the bells, Chuck will stop throwing fire.
Holy shit. Well,
Fuck.
that was
What a
it.
ride.
Yeah.
So many highlights.
The story was, I'm sorry, the house partially burned down
No, it totally burned down. Totally
Okay.
destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, they
because
threw
many of the children,
And-
many of the children,
Yeah, his
were
children,
throwing fire at
yes,
the roof.
they were his
You
children.
know how
were-
kids are.
yeah,
they'll
they throw
burn down the
fire.
house.
Have you
You know
never
how
thrown
kids are.
fire?
Yeah. That's why Airbnbs are so pricey. Well, Ryan, listen, thank you for joining us in a paper that highlighted the when I look back, I think the most important story was that of a mouse who was nicking $5 bills from a bank and making a nest out of it.
I was never to get over skin flats. It never happened.
Nope, that's true. We knew we had to buckle up at that point.
And don't forget buried blood transfusion, very deep in this paper.
Yeah. Plus the
Yep.
lemon breakthroughs, all that stuff. Just really feels like 18 papers were read today. What's the name of your special again on OnlyFans, Ryan?
You can just find it on oftv.com, and you could search Ryan Rogers. You can find me on Instagram at Ryan A. Rogers and TikTok, Ryan Rogers Comedy. I'm having a blast. Thank you, guys.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Come back again, and Dave, why don't you say something really important at the end of this? Just really.
I say this at the end of almost every podcast that we do here on the Pastimes, but everybody needs to stop throwing fire.
It's so true. And this felt like one where the paper almost like played into that message you've been Bob Barkering for a while. So that's awesome.
I think that's really good advice. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome,
don't steal potatoes.
Wow. What an asshole, right, Ryan? All right, everybody. We'll see you next week on the potatoes.
Thank you, guys.
Some of these days you'll miss me, honey. Some of these days.
And this podcast is also brought to you by me, Gareth Reynolds. Go to GarethReynolds.com for some of these stand-up dates I'm about to throw your way. Join me, be part of the Gare Force. August 9th and August 10th, I will be in Fort Collins, Colorado at the Comedy Fort having a good time. Then in September, San Diego, September 18th. September 20th, Bakersfield. Manchester, Connecticut, September 24th. Albany, New York, September 25th. Syracuse, New York, September 26th. October 2nd, I'll be in Ontario, California. Tempe, Arizona, October 3rd. I will be at Helium in Portland, November 1st, November 2nd, and November 3rd. I will be in Seattle, Washington, November 6th, Vancouver, Canada, November 7th, and then 2 shows, New Year's Eve in Austin, Texas at Cap City Comedy. That's December 31st, Cap City Comedy, New Year's Eve. Go to GarethReynolds.com for tickets and information. I'm calling on the Gare Force. Come and join me for a show. Be part of the movement. I love you.
Chevy has the SUVs you know and love. And now there's one more. The first ever all-electric Blazer EV. With the latest tech, incredible range, and easy charging, this head-turning electric vehicle is Motor Trend's 2024 SUV of the Year. When you're ready to go EV, Chevy's got you. Get all the exciting details on the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV at your Colorado Chevy dealer today. And learn more about EV tax credits and take advantage of current offers going on now.